Most of Nakuru residents have backed a proposal by the Kenya Wildlife Service, KWS, to increase entry fees in national parks, reserves and marine protected areas it manages, but on condition that the agency improve services, including prompt compensation of victims of human-wildlife conflicts. They said the review was justified by increased cost of living and free entry for children, elderly and people living with disability. However, there were those who are concerned that the increased charges will slow Kenya's target of 5 million tourists annually by 2027.
The Kenya Wildlife Service has proposed to increase park entry fees to plug a 12 billion shillings funding shortfalls. The agency says it requires 19.8 billion shillings annually for responding to challenges such as poaching, human-wildlife conflicts and habitat degradation, as well as wildlife security, infrastructure upgrades and wildlife sensitization programs. However, KWS says it is currently generating about 7.92 billion shillings, which is not adequate to finance its operations.
We have the issues of infrastructure development that we need to have infrastructure in our protected areas, roads and vista facilities to be improved. We have issues with the community that we have now to engage community so much. You look at our strategic plan 2024-2028, one of the issues is that there has been inadequate community participation, and now we want to bring in the community, do projects for the communities that live around wildlife and the community in the country.
Speaking during a public participation forum on the park entry fees in Nakuru, a majority of the residents welcomed the review of the park entry charges, citing increased cost of living and the offer to have children below aged 5 and below, the elderly and people living with disability access the parks without charges. However, there are a few people who oppose the hike, arguing that it is likely to see the numbers visiting the parks reducing.
Naona ni vyema ziwe reviewed kwa sababu kuna mambo mengine ambayo yanatakikana kuangaliwa, kwa sababu ile rate ambayo inaangaliwa upande moja, lakini the other kuna zile mambo mengine ambayo ni kama fiche, hasa kama ukiingia na lazima uingie na gari. Je, mtu wa kawaida ambaye ni hasara atawezaje?
If the review of the park entry fee is implemented, KWS has pledged to introduce new products such as wildlife translocation experience for tourists, helicopter tours, balloon safaris, water sports, and night game drives. Sylvia Gatti reporting for Lunchtime News.